Universe.
Okay, enough! Like, alright, man. That's enough. I kept my mouth shut about this topic for as long as I possibly could, and in a sense, it was just to see how many people would end up discussing this. Lo and behold, it seems like every hip-hop music channel decided to speak on this, so even though I'm versatile, I guess it's my turn. I've been seeing mad videos about hip-hop dying or whatever, and I get where these people are coming from. Everything is just so fast these days, it's like you barely have time to sit with music anymore, if that makes sense. I mean, you're getting fed music so fucking quickly, you don't even have time to process it. That's what the industry wants. They know that people's attention span is like extremely short. I mean, TikTok is the most popular app of all time. Really, sit down and think about that. It's so popular because you get so much media intake in just about under 5 minutes. And the music industry is taking notice of that. That's why they're feeding y'all so much. It's so fucking quickly. People blow up so fast and they're forgotten a week later with the next person blowing up right after them. And overall, people think there's no hype for anything in the hip hop genre right now. From what I keep seeing, people are saying hip hop is dying for one simple reason. Nobody's really been super innovative in the last few months as far as making hip hop music, and I get that, but like, we're really gonna sit here and say that hip hop is dying? The genre that's been around since the 70s? Okay, so first of all, right, like, and don't take offense to this, but my biggest argument against hip hop is dead or there's not enough hype around anything is that you people don't listen to enough forms of hip hop to even say this. What I think is truly happening is that we're tired of the same mainstream fast food bullshit that's been shoved down our throats each year consistently. And I shouldn't even be saying we because I really don't listen to mainstream hip hop, you know? Like, obviously, yes, I listen to mainstream hip hop, but like, when I get in my car and I'm looking for music to listen to, I'm not cutting on Drake or Kendrick Lamar, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, Eminem, like all that kind of shit. I'm not cutting that on when I get in the car, bro. Hell no, bro. We about to listen to some Rob Banks, some damn Dev Stacks, some Pierre Bourne or David Shoddy. I'm not cutting on no fucking Nas, bro. I'm not cutting on no 21 Savage, bro. Cut on that fucking Glock 40 spaz, nigga. I shouldn't even be saying we because I don't really listen to mainstream hip hop. You wanna know why? Because you're right. That shit is dying. It's the same subject matter, the same kind of crash dummy ass person that makes music then gets locked up, the same female rapper talking about her wet ass coochie and shaking ass and niggas ain't shit. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again, and mainstream listeners are getting tired of it, finally. So I understand your viewpoint of hip-hop dying, but here's why it's not dying. Hip-hop since the 70s has always been on a very steady line of consistently changing. Think about how rappers sounded in the 80s with that whole a hip, a hop, a hippity hip and it don't stop. Like, most of you watching this weren't even alive for that era of hip-hop. Then in the 90s, it got pushed to really great storytelling and bars, you know, 20 years later, and now there doesn't even seem to be much substance in the mainstream nowadays. I mean, now it's just about who's beefing, who's in the Illuminati, who's badder than Ice Spice, nobody by the way, who has the nicest car, who can copy Cardi the best. See where I'm going with this? Plus, it seems like hip hop hasn't really changed for the better part of 10 years. Of course, you've had minor change like everybody hopping on rage beats, people copying what's popping, but no actual shift in the hip hop genre. For example, right? Think about how Future, Migos, Young Thug, Uzi have all been at the front as far as like trap music for like years, a long time. Do y'all realize that 2016 was almost 7 years ago? And most of the artists from that era that were popping off are still here. The ones that didn't die, at least. My point being, mainstream hip hop is still in this trap sound years later, and that's why you would think it was dying. I don't think we should say hip hop is really dead per se, because it's like hip hop isn't just music. It's literally in fashion, different forms of culture. Like, this one thing that started in Bronx, New York, apparently what I read, is just global now. So I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, cool, hip hop is dead because people aren't excited for stuff, but I don't know, I feel like that doesn't really matter when hip hop has just become such a global thing. I feel like eventually we're gonna have that huge shift again. I can't predict what it may be, but it's gonna come. Maybe I'm delusional. Not because of these stupid Billboard chart numbers. That shit has never mattered because hip hop is one of the most popular genres of music. There just hasn't been that much innovation, at least in the mainstream hip-hop space. So then it gets tricky after I say that, because it's like, are we only going to consider mainstream artists all of hip-hop, or are we going to consider the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of kids trying to become rappers right now, in turn proving hip-hop is clearly not dead, nor is it dying? We're so used to things changing so quickly because of a few years with no change. Now it's like, uh-oh, hip-hop is dying. Nobody's excited for anything anymore. Well, goddamn, I don't blame y'all. Who the fuck wants to hear Cardi B's new album? Raise your hand. Name one song off of Business is Business by Young Thug right now. Is anybody still talking about Utopia? Maybe y'all aren't excited for anything because you keep getting the same shit regurgitated with a different fucking beat and barely different fucking lyrics. I mean, that's the mainstream rap space for you. That's why, of course, I don't listen to the mainstream, but there's so much more innovation going on in the underground than the mainstream. Maybe that's why I feel like hip-hop isn't really dying. I just feel like hip-hop is actually more alive right now at the time of me recording this video, because artists are trying new things. Albeit, it may not be that good, but shit, they're trying. Think about how Drake made Honestly Nevermind and how a lot of people hated it because it was basically house music instrumentals that he rapped over. I genuinely enjoyed this album a lot. You wanna know why? Because it wasn't the same shit that he usually spits out and makes millions off of. I never spoke on how I feel about Utopia on this channel, so I guess I'll do that now. Utopia was not as bad as people were making it out to be. I think it was a pretty decent follow-up to Astroworld, and I'm not even really a Travis Scott fan. The only reason I listened to it is because there was a massive gap of time between the two albums, and it really wasn't that bad. It was just different from what people were expecting. I think it's funny because, yes, no one is currently even talking about Utopia right now, but what if Utopia was just another regular Travis Scott-esque trap project? Do you think it would have gotten the same treatment because it didn't sound new, or do you think people would still be talking about it like, wow, this is so great? It really begs that question because artists are now trying new things, and how can we really say hip-hop is dead when they're doing that? I haven't even gotten into the underground artists that are making some of the most creative shit I've ever heard in my life right now either. Y'all just don't know about it because you don't dig deep enough when it comes to hip-hop music. You wait for the same big artists to drop their regular ass shit because that's what you're used to. But it's crazy because when people try something new, y'all are gonna hate on it. Remember when Young Thug was becoming way more popular and a lot of people were like, oh, this is so trash, you can't even understand what he's saying. And those same people right now are probably saying free him and how he's a pioneer. I really think that's where hip-hop is heading right now. Like Pink Tape, Call Me If You Get Lost, Whole Lotta Red. I mean, these albums are really good by hip-hop artists that were trying something new or just being a little innovative. Now, on the other hand, I definitely do understand why people feel this way. Like, we had X, Peep, Juice WRLD, Draco the Ruler, Key, Takeoff, like a lot of really good artists that have passed, and there just hasn't really been that super big name to step up and fill those shoes in a while. I feel like everything is just so focused on trends right now. Like when something gets big, it's like everyone just rides that shit until the wave dies down. Now everyone's in the process of looking for the next huge thing instead of making that huge thing, because there really hasn't been anything lately. But like I said earlier, I think the artists that are trying new things and the amazing artists who aren't even big yet are changing the music game right now, and it's right in front of your eyes. That's what's keeping hip-hop alive, in my opinion. So I mean, we can sit here and say that, oh, hip-hop is dead because the industry is putting popularity over talent, but like that's what's been happening for years. Like y'all were probably in elementary school when that was happening, so I don't know. I just feel like hip-hop isn't dead, you're just impatient. Oh, you're still here. Okay, well, since I have your attention, I'm throwing a party in Georgia. All of my Georgia supporters, please pull up. Bring all of your fucking friends. It is going to be so fun. We're gonna have people rapping, performing their music and shit. It's gonna be a pool. It's gonna be lit, bro. So y'all gotta slide through. It's gonna be fun. I'm out of here.
I beat the block up every day for a buck. Every day to the game in a hurry. Y'all niggas so pussy, y'all niggas so current. We slide the plug out every day, we so turn. With a young nigga that pop out the cut, 3 proof, get a nigga with so damn word. Tucked in the hood like an 8, put his ass in the lake when I cut to the track. The guy do wake and play. And I cook gas up like a steak on the plate. I ain't buying